James, you've now broken into some elite names.
Definitely.
You're getting talked about with elite names. How just does that feel?
Uh, no, it was an unbelievable feeling. I think Saturday it's hard to put into words, like just how good it was, and I think just the reaction from the fans, the players, like the staff inside after. I think it was no, it's up there with one of the best moments at Celtic, and obviously like family there and that as well. So it was no, it was a really great day, and as I said, it's hard to put into words, but it's something I'll remember for the rest of my life.
Yeah, and being the most decorated player in Celtic's history, that's something special. Coming through the ranks at Lennox time, did you ever imagine that would happen for you?
No, you don't. Obviously, when you're coming through the youth, Tommy Burns would always be there, and he would always make sure like families and players knew that not a lot of players like come through the Celtic Academy and make it. So it was obviously like a dream to like make your debut and obviously stay and play for Celtic for so many times, so many seasons, and I've never took it for granted, and obviously I won't until I finish playing here.
And now that you've reached such a milestone, obviously you've got a year left in your contract. Do you look forward and set more goals for yourself going forward, or is it just taking it as it comes in the moment?
I think I've said a few times in a few interviews, mate, like really the kind of last 18 months, I think I've just really tried to enjoy like every day in training, every game I'm be involved in, just because this club is massive and I've had so many highs here and obviously like I realise that I'm coming to the later stage of my career, but I still feel as though like I can contribute and I can help and no, and I feel as though I've done that. So I just want to keep working hard and obviously like moments like Saturday and when you win cups and you're helping the team and being part of the team is a great feeling. So I'm just going to keep working hard and obviously I've got another year here. So we've obviously got a really big game on Saturday to look forward to, and then we've got pre-season and then it all starts again. So just want to, as I said, like keep working hard and keep trying to get more moments like Saturday again.
A few weeks ago, during international break, you were down training with the youngsters. Now, looking forward to a few more years' time, is that something you'll become more involved in and maybe a coach all the youngsters having come through the academy yourself?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I think it was good because I'd come back training. Obviously, I was out with a bad injury for a few months, and I think the boys deservingly they got a bit of time off. So I trained with it was like half the B team and half the 18s. So I actually really enjoyed it. Like McManus and Johnny Hayes, they took the training, but I think it was good for me. I think it was maybe good for the youngsters. There was some boys at 16, 17. There was a few older ones as well, but no, I enjoyed it. I feel as though like it's good for them to see that a first team player, like maybe one of the oldest in the team, is still coming down and training and working hard with them. So I think that was maybe good for them, but it was obviously good for me as well to see like the young boys coming through and definitely a few of them's been up training with the first team as well and they fit in as well. So to get that experience for them is great for them.
James, your goal on Saturday was something special, and congratulations again on that one. You'll
Cheers, mate.
remember that, I'm sure, for years to come, as well as your debut goal for Celtic against Motherwell back in May 2010, I think it was. Those two goals aside, what other goal or goals stand out for you during your 15, 16 seasons?
I think maybe like, obviously the Carragandi game that was obviously a big one. Like you've got the Rangers game, the one that we won at Celtic Park. We won the league that day. There's kind of two that kind of jump out, but as I said, that there's just been so many memories, so many highs, and it's just unbelievable when you get that feeling that you just want more of it. And as I said, I've managed to have so many great times at Celtic, and you see Saturday it's still happening. So I just want to keep hopefully I hope there's a few more to come.
Yeah, I hope so. You're surrounded by really experienced guys, James, in the shape of Brendan Rodgers, Calmack alongside you, KT coming back. But who's been the most influential figure out with those guys in your Celtic career? And what's the best advice you've been given during those years?
Uh, Obviously, straight away, I think like I wouldn't be here obviously without my family. I think everyone sees like the highs, and you can get people that are always there when the highs, but they kind of see it all. And obviously, like the sacrifice for my mum and dad, like them having to like take me to training 4 nights a week, like just anything I wanted to do, like regarding the football, they would always be there. So that's obviously massive. Just like them being there the full time. But then obviously a big one's like, it's hard to pinpoint like one youth coach, because I think every year your youth coaches change and so many of them have played a part. But definitely maybe the gap between like kind of the youth to the first team, like Neil Lennon had him at reserves, and he was really good for me. So like he kind of knew what I could do, and then he got like the intern job at the first team. He was wanting to bring me up, so I think that was, he showed a lot of faith in me, and so I think he was massive. And obviously at the time as well, like Scott Brown. I think when I was younger, I was confident, but I was like really quiet. So I think like Lennon, he done something good. He always made me like be a part of, like if Bruni was there, he would do stuff and that as well. And you look back on it now and you think it's so hard to be like club captain and playing for Celtic. Never mind like the influence he done with me like off the park and like on the park as well. He would help me out. So it's, as I said, I don't like just naming a couple, but there's been so many. But I definitely think like family, Lennon, Bruni, and obviously the gaffer here in so many spells. It's no, they've really helped me.
Now you're one of the experienced guys, James, and the young lads, and you mentioned they're training with the B team and the 18s. They'll all be looking up to you and hoping to in some way replicate the success you've had. We've seen a wee bit of Sean McArdle the last couple of weeks. What kind of advice would you give a young guy like Sean who's trying to make his way through and trying to become the next James Forrest?
I know. I think it's great. He's been up a few times training, and you see when he's come on the park as well. He looks confident, and I think for him, what he's been doing is he's earned the right to come up and train with the first team. And obviously with his position, I think if he watches Cal like, every day, just the way he applies himself like, on and off the park, and also what he's done in himself, I think if he just keeps bringing what he does, then I think that's good for him as well. And maybe not to get carried away. I think in football and maybe with social media and stuff and that as well. Like I think if you do have a high, it is easy just to maybe get carried away. But I think you can. I think at this club it's good because like you'll get the press, you'll get the fans, definitely the staff and the players. They don't let you get carried away. So I think we have got a good group that. He wouldn't be like that anyway, but I'm just saying for young boys it is good that they have got like surroundings with people like that they will keep them grounded.
Brilliant, thanks James. Good luck.
Cheers mate, thank you, top man.
Hi there, James.
How's
Kind
it,
of thinking, as you kind of look back on your kind of personal and sort of team achievements over the past sort of 16 years, I'm curious, is there any sort of particular goal or trophy that you really kind of regret that you maybe never achieved or got away?
mate? To be honest, it's hard. Like, even when you get told like an achievement that you've done, like you've never thought I'm set out to do that. I think, especially here, like there's been so many like boys I've spoken about it and staff as well. Like there's so many trophies or cups that we've won, and we've not really been able to celebrate it. There's been like a league game 3 days later, and it's like quickly like on to the next one. So that's what I think. Like maybe once I finish and I look back at like all the different cups and trophies and stuff, I'll be able to think about it more then. But as I said, I think the club's had so much success. I think from not resting on what they've done, it is always like you do enjoy it, but then sometimes it is like you don't want to take it for granted. So you're, as I said, like a big achievement happens, and then a couple of days later, like everyone's focused on the next one to keep it going. And I think it has been like that for many years now.
You've got kind of so many seasons to pick from in terms of like perhaps like a favorite league season. Is it what perhaps like your first one or one where you were kind of scoring 20 goals a season, or even like this last season, for example, where you kind of came in and really dragged the team over the finish line when they were struggling? What kind of your favorite season?
It's hard to compare them because at the time, though, obviously that the one that's just happened feels like the kind of best one. Do you know what I mean? Like it's hard to think back to like kind of 14, 15 years ago, but I just think any trophy you win here, it's the best one because it's like the next one that happened. So like obviously Saturday was great, like winning the league again, but then it's especially for the boys and the staff in here, it's quickly preparing for like we've got another cup final, another big game, and not resting on that. But yeah, obviously, like, it's hard to just pick one, mate. To be honest, like there's so many good ones.
Finally, kind of how hard is it to be like a one-man club? Have you ever been like close over the years to maybe having to leave, or has there ever been a sliding door moment where you thought, oh, I might have just been here for 4 or 5 seasons, and here you are, kind of 16 years later, in the first team?
Obviously, this club is massive. Everyone knows like the fan base, the pressure within it. But no, I think the only time that I was really came close, like my contract come down to, I think I had 6 months left of my contract, and it was like the gaffer's first spell. He come in, and it was actually strange because my contract was up in the December, so like I could have signed for teams in like the 1st of July, but obviously the gaffer came in and the pre-season, and within a week I had two conversations with him, and right away I just knew I wanted to stay, he wanted me to stay, and we got the contract done pretty quick, and I've never looked back. And to be honest, like when you're playing well, like when you're playing, you're doing well for Celtic, like the international scene, like that comes along with it as well. And play Champions League games, you're going for trophies, and I just think it's just kind of, that's been the only kind of spell that I thought I didn't know where I was going to go. I don't know if the club will want me to move on, or I just didn't know what was going to happen. But it's kind of worked out perfect in the end when you think about it. And as I said, hopefully until I finish, I can get some more good moments.
Hello, James. Congratulations, mate, on your achievements. Fair play to you.
Cheers, mate. Thank you. How you doing?
After 16 years, I mean, aside from the kind of football abilities and what you managed to achieve on the pitch, you always came across as a guy who didn't really have an ego, but had a lot of belief and a lot of confidence in yourself. And I suppose you mentioned earlier on about passing that, you sort of skills on to young people. And football's a lot about mindset, and there's a lot about character more now these days than it ever used to be. Is that something that you had to develop? Because you always come across as a guy that was just naturally the way you are. But over the 16 years, is it more that you've had to kind of build on in terms of like, not getting in your own way, in terms of having an ego and having the level of belief and consistency that keeps you going to get where you are today? And is that something I suppose that you feel you could pass on to younger players?
I know, definitely. You can think about. I think you just deal with like. It's hard when you're coming through the youth, like youth coaches, to tell you how to deal with you if you're going to have a bad game or get sent off the first team, or it's hard to deal, like people deal with like highs and lows like differently. But I think like what I've tried to manage to do is just is like not be anyone else. Like I came through, and I believed in myself. I was confident, but I was like maybe quietly confident. I wasn't like you get different characters in the changing room. People are loud and or people are quiet. So I think the advice is to younger people is I would say is just kind of be yourself. Like don't try and act like someone you're not, and then you can build up to it. Like you maybe get the respect off like first team boys when you're younger if you come in and apply yourself the way you are and you work hard, and you don't need to be like loud in that if that's not your character. So I think that would be my advice to like kind of younger people regarding that.
And have you found that to be the same whenever you've had to adapt to different managers over the years? Because people bring in different, tone, a different character, different ideas, and different sort of, and build a different environments. Have you found it easy to adapt personally to those situations when they do change? Have you been through a massive sort of cultural change, I suppose, across the club in many, many different ways?
I actually think that's definitely helped me as a player as well. When you come across different managers, they like different styles. They bring in their own people, and it can be different as well. But I think that actually makes you a better player, and I feel as though that helps you deal with stuff as well. And I always think like in my position, like obviously Celtic are always signing wingers as well, but I've always liked it because I always feel as though every winger that was signed the full time I've been here, like I feel as though like I've like took bits for different people's games, and people can say that you're in competition with them, and I get that, but then I feel as though they can help you and push you on as well. Because I think like competition for players, especially at this club, is definitely healthy. That they can you can push each other on, and you can take. As I said, like you get wingers like Elanusi, Sinclair, or like Paddy Roberts. You get different types of wingers, and that I feel as though that it can help you adjust, and it can help your game as well.
Brilliant. And last one, James. After 16 years, you're finally happy to have a song.
I know.
I was late about the start of the Saturday.
I know. I think my family are surprised about that one as well. They've always been sagging me for that. But no, it was great. It was obviously Wednesday night at Aberdeen. It was such a great feeling, and I feel as though like the last 4 weeks, like maybe 3 or 4 weeks, every time I met someone in the street or just talking to anyone, I just felt as though everyone was like really wanting me to score. So no, so it's a Saturday. I was just, it was just great the way it happened, and I was really thankful that I could to score, and just because how much everyone was really wanting me to do. So I'm glad I managed to like kind of repay that.
Well, my wee lad's been singing it all week, James, so that's great. Like it's in his head. I walk into the house and it's going. I'm like, yes.
Is it? That's good to hear. Yeah, cheers, mate. Thank you.
Hi James,
How
how
you doing,
special a moment was that for you on Saturday to lift the trophy alongside Callum? You know, someone you've spent the Celtic journey with for well more than a decade now.
No, I mean, unbelievable. I think both of us coming through the academy, and obviously the career Cal's having, he's got so many more years to go as well. Like, that was it was a nice touch for him. Like, said, like, obviously, like, hold the trophy and that with him at the end. It was good. But I think it's great for the club, and like young boys like looking through, like 2 boys for the academy coming through, and obviously Cal captain in the club as well. So I think all round it's great for everyone associated with the club, and it was a really good moment.
And I know you've touched on it briefly, but the manager constantly refers to you and Callum as examples of success stories coming from the club's academy. Do you see yourself as a mentor for the younger players coming through now?
Yeah, like I think it's, but if they look at kind of players, I think that is good for them. Like, obviously there's a couple of young boys that maybe left in the past, like that they've went to different teams, and everyone is different. But I think players here that they know that they can. Like Celtic's a massive club. Like, always wanting Europe, always going for trophies, and playing with most of the boys in the squad are international players. So like, you can definitely better yourself here, and the moments you get here, and the pressure that you have here is what you want as a footballer. And I think young boys coming up and training with the first team, I think that's great experience for them, and they can take that and build on that, and hopefully like there's more players to come through and do what me and Cal, KT, like Ralston, like loads of boys like that, like they can come on and do that as well. And I think that's what everyone at the club wants.
And looking ahead to Saturday, it's potentially kind of remarkably trophy number 27 for yourself. The club's possibly 6th treble in 9 years. How are the boys feeling ahead of the game?
No, they're feeling good. I think for everyone, it was a great day on Saturday. Trophy day, like the fans' atmosphere at the end, it was really good, and the boys got to spend it with their families and that as well. But we had Sunday, Monday off, and then we were back in Tuesday, and we're preparing for the cup final. And I think loads of boys have done it, so they know that that's kind of gone now, and we know we want to finish on a high, and everyone's like, we've been preparing well, so looking forward to Saturday.
Yeah, hi James. Thanks very much for taking the time, sir. I really appreciate it.
Cheers.
I'll try not to take up too much of your time, but I appreciate you're one of the most famously humble players at the club. So I'll try not to make you too uncomfortable with this. But like, you're one of only 3 players to score in 16 or more consecutive seasons, as we've spoken about. One of only 3 players to score and create 100 plus goals. One of only 14 players to make 500 plus appearances, and you're the club's most decorated player. I mean, some people would say that's a hell of a legacy already, but I appreciate you're not planning to hang up the books anytime soon. But when you look back at all of that, how would you like your legacy to be remembered? And then thinking forward, what have you still got the hunger to achieve in your career as a player at this stage?
No, it's class. Like, I do, when you hear stuff like that, it makes you feel really good. And as I said, it's like all the kind of hard work and paying off when you're younger, and like the family helping you and stuff like that as well. It's been unbelievable, and I think like me being here, and I think me and the club have a really good relationship. I think it's just fit well, and obviously I've still got another year here, so I just want to just try and give it my best every day, keep trying to help the team, and keep trying to get like moments like, as I said, like Saturday. I think being at a club like this, it's, you win a trophy, you do an achievement, and you just want more of it. It's a bit like, it's like an addiction. You're just like hungry to get that feeling again. So hopefully I can get a couple more of them before I finish.
Great stuff. And you referenced the great Tommy Burns earlier on. Tommy Burns was one of these individuals that was viewed as kind of the connective tissue between the club, the supporters, and his fellow pros. There's famous stories of him sitting on the bus telling new players, what the club means and what it means. Given that you've been at the club for such a long tenure, you're very much part of the fabric of the football club now, similar with Callum McGregor. How much responsibility do you guys take on in terms of not only bringing up the younger players and demonstrating to them what it takes to be successful at this level, but also when players are coming in maybe from overseas or without that knowledge of the club, do you take on that responsibility to provide that connection to the club and really bridge that knowledge gap?
I think when I look back at since I've been in the first team, I feel as though we've always had every change room we've had, we've always had a core group. I think, and that's been important. But I think you've got to mention like the foreigners or the players that we sign as well. I feel as though every player that we signed, that they've always adapted well. Like, so I think that's important, that they've maybe seen how maybe like the core group like work and behave and stuff and that as well. So I think that they come in and it's fair play to them. Like, they adjust well, and obviously they don't. Some of them maybe don't stay for 6-7 years. They can be here for 2 or 3. But when they have been here, they have worked hard, and I think when they come here as well, that they see how big the club is with the fans. They go out in the street. There's fans everywhere, and you go to the stadium. The supporters are away from home. So I think everyone does adapt it quick. And as I said, I don't think you can just praise like the kind of core group. I think you've got to praise the ones that we sign. Like they come away with their families, like for different countries, and they buy into it as well. So I think it is good that we've always had a tight group for over the years.
Fantastic. And you've been part of multiple European campaigns in your tenure. Some have been, more successful than others. Looks as though we made some real progress this year. How's it feeling in the camp and for you individually going into next year and having another crack at the Champions League, given how well received we were in Europe this year?
Yeah, I think the boys done really well in Europe this year. I think and like personally enjoyed the different layout as well. I think it was good. You're playing different teams, and I know it was important, and obviously getting out the group and that as well. So I think the fans love the away Champions League games, the home Champions League games. So I think everyone at the club will be looking forward to make sure we get in that next year, and obviously the manager and the staff, they'll be wanting to like progress and do well in it as well.
Yeah, one very final question, James, then I'll let you go. Ex-teammate of yours, Scott Brown, doing great in management. You've spoken about getting a little bit of exposure to the coaching side. Any appetite to come back in a top job in future years?
What, Bruno to get it, or me?
No, for you to.
Oh, to me to get it. No, I think like players and like people have always told me like kind of do your coaching badges like maybe like a couple of years before you finish. But I've just the way I've always just wanted to just focus on playing just now. Like, I feel as though I've loved football since I was a wee boy, and I know I want to still be a part of it. But while I'm here in Celtic, we've got so many games, and as I said, like training, it's a long season. So no, I just want to focus. I've got another year here, keep working hard, and then once I do decide to finish, I'll definitely want to be in the game some capacity, and I'll maybe just like see what options at times and to see what I want to do. But definitely, I love football, so I will want to be involved in it some way.
Fantastic, James. Thanks very much. I'm sure I speak for pretty much all the Celtic fans. I say thank you very much for everything you've given to the club, and very best of luck on Saturday.
Perfect, pleasure.